So we have driven many hours deep into the mountains here on the Bull River Forest Service Road, and now we're headed up Mount Harrison. It's an 11,000er here in the Canadian Rockies. It's a big mountain, about I think about 6 kilometers up. And joining me today is Madison Clydesdale. You may recognize her from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. She's on all the platforms. This might be one of the most tedious side sloping objectives ever. It has a very bad reputation. Can't wait until this part is finished. Now my apologies that your first big mountain experience has to be on terrain like this. It gets much better.
You make it look way easier than it is.
Madison decided she hit her summit for the day. She reached her limit. I respect that. You gotta know when to turn around. But Rocco and me, we're gonna continue on up, see if we can get to the top of this thing. Looks like I'm the first to reach the top this year, and this is a beautiful new area of the Rockies for me. I've not seen too much around here, but I kind of can't wait to get back to the van though, because the first thing we did this morning was cross a creek, and I've had soaking wet feet ever since, so gotta keep moving. Well, it was fun to meet up with Madison, and good luck to her. Hopefully she heads back out there this summer and gets some revenge on that mountain. As for me, I got to keep moving while the weather is good and the sky is clear of smoke, but I can't quite throw it back into lone wolf mode as of yet, because I got a message from Devin. He sees a window to head up onto the Lyell Icefield for some more 11,000er adventures. I've got a head start on him. I've already driven out to the end of the Valencians FSR, and we'll meet up with him first thing tomorrow morning to get started on this one. I just love this area so much. It's just so jam-packed with adventures. Just never stops. Such a glamorous, ravaged, clear cut to spend the night in. And it brings back memories too, because I slept here in the minivan a couple years ago. But I'm okay with this because I know over the next few days I'll be into some of the best scenery that Canada has to offer. But I'm hungry. Let's get some dinner going. So it's been about 3 months since I had that big van breakdown in Salt Lake City, and the van has actually been running pretty good ever since that. No more warning lights on the dash. Unless I drive in the rain, then there's still a wire that shorts out, and for the life of me I can't figure out where it is. Even if it's a dry day and I hit a big puddle, it'll short out. So it has to be something like right in the wheel well that gets wet right away. But I'm afraid to take it into another mechanic to look at it, because when I was in Salt Lake City, it was going to be like another 2 weeks to order parts. So they just did like a quick and confusing fix where they spliced in some new wires. And I'm sure the next person to look at it is going to have a problem with it. But I wish I could just like completely disable the ABS and traction control, because it's the main thing that's given me a lot of grief and cost me a lot of money ever since owning this van. It's also frustrating the way the ABS is wired in. Like when it malfunctions, it's enough to cripple the van. Just like the wonders of modern technology. But yeah, let's get some dinner going. Who do you think you are? Do you want that burger? Can I have my burger? Happy Canada Day, everyone. There was a lot of traffic out there on the highway. Everyone is out and about and enjoying their summer. I was going to stop in at the Red Street campground this morning because I learned if you have your Parks Canada pass, they let you go in there and take a shower, but I just figured it was going to be a complete circus on a long weekend like this, so instead I just went to the Husky gas station, put down my $10 and had my shower in peace. But yeah, all those campgrounds are just filled to the brim on these long weekends, but I got news for you. If you're okay to just sit in a cut block, there is plenty of free camping out here in the mountains, and you can have it all to yourself. So it was September 2020 that I slept here last, almost 3 years ago. I'm still here doing the same thing. I still enjoy it. Foresty Force is just a predictable and consistent human being. I mean, I think that's important to find something that you're interested in and stick with it for the long term. But Devin said he should be here by about 10 a.m. Then we'll start hiking. We got to get up the head wall today, up and around Cerberus Falls, and set up a bivvy. Then tomorrow we get down to business. There are 5 11,000 foot peaks up there. I want to try to get the 3 on the north end, but Devin, he wants to get all 5 of them, so we have to figure that out today, how that's going to work, because we might have to go our separate ways up there on the Icefield. So they managed to drive a lot further than I thought they'd be able to. Toyota Corollas are surprisingly capable off-road vehicles, but in the end we all ended up piling into my van and driving the rest of the way. And it actually looks like they improved the road over the last couple of years. It was not possible to drive out here before. So today I'm hiking with Devin and Rob, and it's time to get started on this thing. Let's see if we can pick up the trail, make our way up the head wall. I mean, this has to be one of the most beautiful mountain approaches that I've ever seen in my life. This huge ice field draining over the head wall, creating all these waterfalls, and some are just coming out of the side of the mountain from tunnels. It's unbelievable. And yeah, it's not a national park or anything. It's just like no crowds, just the 3 of us here to witness it, take it all in. So last night we got up to the hut and had a good discussion about glacier safety. Conditions on the way up were kind of sketchy. There was just like a thin layer of snow covering the glacier, and it was all mushy and melted. They sunk through a couple times. So came up with a plan, tried to get some sleep, and today we're headed up the 1-2 call to see if that works. And after that, we might go our separate ways. I might have to go back to the hut alone, but we'll see. Just a quick scramble and we'll be standing on our first 11,000 foot peak for the day. So we made our way to the top of the first Lyell, no problem. It's just a simple, straightforward rock scramble. Then we took a moment to soak in the view and try and comprehend that this is actually a real place that exists on planet Earth. Then we continued on to the second, which is probably the easiest out of all the Lyells. It's just a snow slope that you can walk right up. Then we continued on to the third, which was actually surprisingly difficult. There was a section of ice climbing that needed to be done, and I decided to turn around at that point. It became a spectator sport for me, so I just got some drone footage of them doing that, and also doing 4, which is the hardest out of all of them. It was pretty fun to watch them do all this. was just waiting there underneath 4. There's a chance they're going to turn around and meet up with me, but they decided to carry on, try to connect 4 to 5 via the ridge line. So that means for me, I have to walk back to the hut alone across this giant ice field in the afternoon heat. The snow is softening up. This is kind of anxiety inducing, but I don't have a choice. Rob lent me his hiking pole for the way back because I have to probe ahead of me. There's all these crevasses underneath the snow that I can fall through now. Don't step there. I made it back to the hut safe and sound. It's funny because last night we had that discussion about glacier safety, yet I still wound up crossing the longest section alone. And in the afternoon heat, I punched through up to my knee a couple times. It was just enough to wake me up and piddle my pants a little bit, but I survived. But it's just amazing and mind-boggling to see what these guys are capable of doing in the mountains. And just to witness it is enough for me. Looking at the footage is actually kind of stressful, but I just have to wait for them to get back and finish that big loop. Then it sounds like they're keen to head on back to the van tonight. We all have our camping gear, so we'll do what we can. But I think that just about wraps up this episode. We just have to retrace our steps from here. So thanks for coming along into all these remote places in the mountains, and I hope everyone is doing good, and I will see you in the next episode.